I'm still taking pictures, so, you know, they ask the preacher to come out and speak, you know, you better be ready, right? And I always get out ready, no doubt about it. But tell you a little bit about myself, to kind of get some started, because I'm sort of I'm the new guy. You know, I'm an anomaly here. I already told you that I'm Jacob for family Esau, when it comes to me and my brothers, because obviously they're all hairy. Not using the shave. And I recently told our agent, I said, if you can't get me a razor deal, you're the worst agent in America. If anybody ought to sign a big deal with, you know, Gillette or Chick, it ought to be me, right? Especially with the family that I run with. A lot of people compare our shows to other shows. And that makes sense, right? You say, well, what is Dynasty like? Some people say it's like Andy Griffith, right? Remember Andy Griffith? You got Barney, you know, it's time. You got Andy, you got Phil. You know, you got AB, you got Kay, right? It's Kay. So you see a lot of similarities. Now, I've always said this should be like Sanford and Son, because mom's a bit of a hoarder. You can see that, right? Some people say it's like the Waltons. I've heard the Dukes of Hazzard. I compare, when people ask me, they say, what is your show like? What's up Dynasty like? I say it's like the Munsters. You remember the Munsters? How many of you remember the Munsters? All right, let's go, right? The great old show. Now, does anybody remember the blonde-headed woman on the Munsters? Marilyn. Right, 6 of you knew Marilyn. See, I'm a lot like Marilyn Munster. Because if you remember the show, Marilyn was beautiful, but she lived in a family of monsters, so she thought she was ugly. She had like a major identity complex. Remember that? I can totally relate to Marilyn Munster from the family that I live in. Now, a lot of people, you know, they look at our family and they say, you know, how did this get started? You know, how did you become this? Well, it's not. It didn't just happen overnight. Trust me. We, as you know, we all duck hunt, and so for years we made duck hunting videos. How many of you ever watched the Duck Man video? I mean, y'all in here, okay? It's not really a duck hunt area, I know, but some of you have seen that before. So we started making these duck hunting videos. Because Dad, you know, made that very first duck call, but he's obviously loved hunting. You know. By the way, did you know that Dad was the starting quarterback against Terry Bradshaw in college? Did you know that? Pretty amazing. Dad was at Louisiana Tech University in the 60s, and he was there for a year, and so he was starting his sophomore year, and this freshman kid named Terry Bradshaw came in, and he was Dad's backup. So Dad was a pretty good quarterback, you know. And so whenever Bradshaw, you know, talks about it, he says that Dad was really good. In fact, he says that Dad had loved football as much as he loved shooting up. That Bradshaw may not have won 4 Super Bowls, you know, and yet he did. Now, whenever Dad saw Terry Bradshaw recently out of the LAX airport, Dad was in a window, and he ran into Bradshaw. Hadn't seen him in 44 years. And he ran into him at the airport, and Bradshaw, he saw that he didn't recognize Dad because of the long beard, but he said he'd never forget this case, you know. So he saw her, he went up and they met and Bradshaw started telling Dad about all of his injuries. So Phil, I tell you what, it's been pretty rough. I mean, I broke this bone and that bone, and I got no cartilage left here, and I lost all my hair and all my teeth and all my women. You know, it's been tough. And Dad looked at him and he said, I tell you what, Bradshaw, I got all my teeth, I got plenty of hair, and I still got this tail. I think I chose the right profession. What do you think? And it worked out pretty well for me. So Dad invented this duck call, you know, that sounded exactly like a mallard duck. And then all of a sudden, you know, he let his beard grow out a little bit, and we started filming the hunt. And we just built up this huge audience that hunted. You know, they're watching, they start letting their hair grow out. They start biting the heads of ducks. They start spitting on the ground. They quit bathing. They quit wearing deodorant. They want to be a duck man, you know. And so it built up this following of people. And so the Outdoor Channel comes along, and they say, man, I think you can have a weekly television show. But we want more than just hunting. We want it to be about the family as well. And we said, that'll never work. I mean, the people watch us, they only want to see us kill things, you know. They're not going to want to know about our family. But that show, within the first month of releasing, went straight to the top of the Outdoor Channel Network. You know, it's 1 million homes. All these people watching. We go, man, maybe people are interested in this story. And so we started telling them a little bit about our faith and our lives. And then all of a sudden, A&E comes calling. And they say, you know what, we think you guys have something really special, but we don't want it to be about hunting at all. I mean, you'll be hunters. People will know you have a hunting business. But it's just going to be about your family and just kind of the crazy life that you live. Dad said it'll never work unless the Almighty is behind it. Well, I have to say that after 9.6 million homes watched our season finale, I would guess the Almighty must be behind the show. What do y'all say? And so we just decided that we were just going to give him the glory for everything that happened, and we were going to keep serving him. Now, what's interesting is that at the end of the show, right, I had some of you already tell me tonight, we were in your mind, your favorite part of the show is at the end of it when we do what? We pray. And somebody says, you know, man, you don't see that every day on American television, right? I mean, no beeping and prayer. I mean, that makes it special, makes it different right off the bat. But whenever we first started doing the show, they just kind of had the idea we'd be around the dinner table, and at the end of it, it's kind of like the end of Dukes of Hazzard. Remember that old show, Dukes of Hazzard? And old Waylon Jennings would say, well, old Bo did this, and old Luke down to that, and old Daisy shorts are too short. You know, you can go through the whole thing about the show. And that's how they kind of imagined it. They never imagined that it would become a spiritual thing. If not, we probably never even got on the air. But you know what? All across America, people began to say, we like that. In fact, we love it. And more people tuned in. And you got to remember, this is a network that's in New York, and a creative team that's in Los Angeles, and some renovators in Louisiana. You know, you got a lot of, you know, there's kind of a familiar triangle trying to work this thing out. And they're not always on the same page we are, but ultimately, just like an opportunity like tonight, these people, we get an opportunity to talk about what matters the most. And trust me, we're not shutting anything down in terms of our faith and belief system. They know that. And they said, to their credit, A&E said, because they held up his mouth when they first came and talked to him, he said, look, this is what we live by. That can't be in, then we're not in. And they said, it's in still. And so to their credit, they've allowed us to be who we are. And I have to tell you that when you look at the family, you kind of wonder, you know, how it all came to be. I don't know so much of you have read our book, but I've seen a few in there tonight. But you understand Dad's story. Dad graduated from Louisiana Tech. And for the first 10 years of my life, because me and Mom had me when I was 10 in 1965. So the first 10 years of my life, Dad was not the Christian that he became later. So my memories of Dad early on were not so good. I mean, he loved us, and he took care of us. He just didn't spend a lot of time with us. And so he was always off in the woods, and they were always off drinking beer and running around and doing crazy hygiene and things, but there wasn't much of a family man in the early days. But of course, he found out pretty quick that with that lifestyle, he was going to lose his family. And in fact, in 1974, he did lose his family because he and Mom split up. And they moved down to Western Road where we live now. Mom did, and 3 boys at that time, because Jeff wasn't around yet. And we didn't have Dad in the future. And those were tough days for us, no doubt about it. And I'll never forget the day that Dad pulled up in his truck. He had their bed in the back of the TV, and I realized that something had happened behind the scenes that I didn't know about. And Mom said, let me tell you something. You're going to come home. We're going to be a family. We're going to have to do with God. And you're going to have to sit down with our pastor. Y'all going to have a discussion about what it means to follow Christ. So they did, and it took 3 nights. We always say that Dad was so stubborn and hard-headed, it took 3 nights to get through to him. But for 3 nights, he talked. And that last night, he embraced Christ. He was baptized, and then our lives changed, and his life changed from that point forward. Now, as good as that was, and as inspiring as it was, and we were finally there, we were finally excited down a place on the river. You know, sometimes it happens about the time when you get something going good, something bad happens. And I don't know if it's because I watched Dad all those early years and growing up, not being a Christian, and not being raised in a Christian home. But about the time I got to my teenage years, about 13 years old, inside, I began to turn away. On the outside, I was like a lot of teens in church. I went. It looked like I was listening, but I wasn't. And I totally disengaged from God and my family, even though I was still in the family. So I got to be about 15 years old, and around got worse and worse and worse. First it was secret, then it just got more and more out. By the time I was a senior in high school, I was only 16 years old, because I'm a genius. No, not really. Just because I started early. Still in Arkansas, we let you start where you want to down there, by the way. But I was 16 years old, and I decided that I knew more than my dad did. And that was a bad call, because you see Dad, he's not scary, but he's bad. Dad's 67 years old, and I'm still afraid of him. I'm saying that right now. I don't mess with that man. But my lifestyle got worse and worse. One night we decided to kind of go public with the way we were living. So me and three of my buddies, we had a big drunken party at a camp not too far from where Mom and Dad lived. So we're over there cutting up, thinking, we're having a big time. And the next morning, we're all in the living room because in the early days, everybody worked for government, all the family. So we were the workforce. So even though, we had been really out messing around and camping around the night before, the next day we were there doing our work. It was me and three of my buddies. And so we're folding up boxes and we're sitting there in the living room, and Dad's out on the front porch putting duck calls together. And this is how we spent most Saturdays and most summers with me growing up. We were looking at our little high school friends and we were kind of elbowing each other. We thought we were so cool because we were getting one over on everybody. About the time we heard a knock on the door, in walked Bill's parents, one of my friends that was there. We'd been at their camp the night before, and they had one of those stern looks on their face, like, you boys have it. So they walked in and they started walking over to my friend. They said, Terry, how do you feel this morning? He said, I feel fine. What about you, Bill? I feel fine. What about you, Greg? I feel fine. They didn't ask me. I don't know if I was good or bad. By that time, Mom had walked up, Miss Kay. And she said, what's going on? She said, these three right here got drunk last night, tore up a bunch of stuff, got the neighbors up in arms, and something's got to be done about it. We're fixing to go over and apologize to everybody. Well, Mom looked at me, and this is like, what they call the moment of truth. Because my mom had depended on me our whole life. I was the oldest of the brothers. I took care of them. I helped take care of her. She leaned on me. And so now all of a sudden, it's like we were pulling the rug out from under because she just couldn't believe that I was going down the same road that Dad had been down all those years. And she looked at me and she said, were you drinking too? And it's just that moment, I looked at her and nobody wants to break their mama's heart. But at the same time, when darkness is what controls you, you'll break your mama's heart. So in defiance, I looked at my buddies who were giving me the look like, man, just lie. We already got just add lies to the list, right? But I was in it. Because we were thicker than thieves. So I said, yes, ma'am, I was. And I said, and I said, I'd go to my mother's house. Worse than that, I didn't even care about it. So they said, we're going to go over and apologize to all the neighbors. And so it hit me. I thought about that on the front porch. I said, yeah, I think that's good. We need to go and apologize to the neighbors. So we went over. We did our apology. We said our sorry. And then all of a sudden, here comes Dad. Pulling up in an old 1976 Chevrolet pickup. Or the wheelbarrow going out, and you hear it coming from a long way away. He got out, and he was hot. I mean, as mad as I've ever seen him. See, that's the way Dad tends to do. He tends to get mad. Oh, here's Scott, by the way. I'm going to say hi. So Dad comes up, and he says, if any of you boys ever want to go to my house again, you're going to load up in that car, and you're going to come over to whatever he gets, you get. So now I'm giving them the no-go, right? Don't do it. But they said, no, they can see. So we load up, and we head over there, and we get out of the car, and there's a big white car there, and we get out. Dad's taking himself off. And we're 16, 17, 18 years old. And he says, bend over the white car, boys. I thought he was fixing to whip us. And he did. First one was up a little bit. I don't know how your dad was, but my dad was, he liked to give you a little commentary about giving you a whipping, you know, tell you about how it was. And so Bill got up there, and of course Bill's parents, remember, they were the ones that, you know, found us out. So he started in on Bill. I have to tell you what, it's embarrassing. I got a whip in front of your own mom and dad. He stepped aside. They got to say, he said, Greg, you better go home, you better tell your mom and dad that you got a whipping for Bill on. He stepped aside. Next out was a guy named Terry. He'd never been to my house before this day. He said, son, I don't know who you are, but you go home and you tell your mom and dad that you got a whipping from Bill Robertson. And then he got to me. And he said, Al, I can't believe you would do what you done, knowing what I did to you and your family and your mom and the rest of the world. And I have to say that I don't remember the bells, but I remember those words. And they made a difference. Soon after that, my life turned around. My dad treated me like a prodigal son and welcomed me in, because that's the sort of man he is. Our family that you filled up Dynasty around that table saying that prayer, we need what we say, what we give God for it. And we believe that God has raised us up for such a time as this to make a difference in the United States of America when America needs it most. So I want to share that a lot of people don't know. Josiah's, you know, crazy how Josiah does Dynasty. And he is, I already told you, he's crazier than he is in real life than he is in show. But I'll tell you something else about this man that you may not know. Josiah is a devout Christian who loves the Lord, and every Sunday and Wednesday, when we're not on the road like we are this weekend, he's right there on West Fair Road singing praises, giving glory to God, being a part of our church family as well. This is a spiritual, godly man, and I'm glad he's in my family. I think he deserves a round of applause. And even though he's not on the show, he is married to Christine, 43 years, and he has 2 children and 8 grandsons. So Josiah's done the right thing as well. And Josiah, is there anything that you could say to this audience tonight? Because I know they want to hear you at least say hello or something.
Look, one of the things that impressed me most about all his friends, there's not many people that he said, hey, I'm very want you to come down to his house and he's going to beat the tar out of you. Okay? And you got the choice, go down there and make a meeting or run. Okay? And I told Al, I said, hey, your friends impressed me when they took their punishment along with you. Okay? And that was Bill, W.E., Craig Epinette, okay? He's done a lot of camera work for us. And then it was just 2 poor boys that just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And they got their place tore up too. Now the guy walked up to him, what, about a year ago, 2 years ago? And the guy walked up and said, hey, do you remember me? And Alan said, you look familiar. He said, thanks a butt whipping. And then Alan died back and he said, yes, I remember you there. You were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But, you know, that's the thing, okay? People tell you today, you know, oh, you can't whoop your child. It'll get all kinds of scars. That's the biggest bunch of bunk. Okay? You know, look, children and adults need boundaries. Okay? You know, hey, my parents pulled up in front of us, okay? Now, back to this, the last one I got, it was pure child abuse. Okay? Because my father, he was working graveyard shifts, okay? He'd come in at 7 o'clock in the morning. Me and my sister were fighting like cats and dogs. Mom said it went on for about 3 hours. And he stood up looking for a belt and couldn't find one. So, hey, we come by and said, you know, well, he grabbed the nearest thing handy, which was a 12-foot extension cord. Okay, and look, Me and my sister both went in there and laid on the bed, okay? And I looked like I had been whipped with a bull whip. Okay? I had blood going out of my legs, so did my sister. And that's the only time my mama cussed. And she cussed Daddy that day and told her, hey, if you hurt one of my children again like that, I'm going to kill you blank. And, you know, she said, oh, I did not. I said, oh, yeah, you did it too. But that was the last one I got, okay? That may be why I'm so crazy. Give me a break, okay? Look, children and adults need to have boundaries that they know they can't go beyond. You know, what parent would let their child touch a hot stove, okay, and burn his hand instead of popping him on the butt saying no? You know, that's how you're trained, okay? You know, somebody says, well, what about just let it burn your hand and make an idiot or no leg down and not the face? You know, nobody would do that. Hey, you discipline, okay? That's about the Lord disciplining His children, okay? You may go through something that you don't want to go through. And speaking of that, hey, guess who done that? God's Son did that. Okay? He didn't want to die on the cross, especially for a sinner like me. Okay? I was his enemy. Okay? And he still willingly died on that cross while I was against him. Okay? And he did it for me. You know, that's the greatest, you know, you can't even comprehend that kind of love. Okay? That He would love me enough, okay, the one that is sinless, okay, would love me enough that one is sinful, okay, that He willingly laid down His life to solve my sin problem. Okay? And he killed two birds with one stone there. We've all got a sin problem, and we've all got a grave problem. You know, I've been to field study with a guy one time, and he got him to read a verse. He said, well, you're saying I'm going to hell. And Phil said, no, I didn't say that. I let you read a verse, and by reading that verse, that's what you deducted. But I didn't say that. But the guy said, well, hey, I'm not studying anymore, and besides, I ain't going to die anyway. Young Phil says, what? You're not going to die? And he said, no, I'm not going to die. Well, hey. About 4 months went by. Bill preached in the gospel. 4 months went by. His buddy called. Phone rang. Bill said, hello. He said, hey, you remember who this is? And the guy said, no, who is it? He said, I'm the man that talked the guy down there that said he wasn't going to die. And Bill said, well, what happened? He said, guess what? He did die. He got stabbed in a bar the other night and died. You know, Bill said, well, I hate to hear that. But hey, I got another thing I could do. I shared the good news about Jesus with you, you know. And evidently, you know, he didn't make my choice. But just think about that, okay? The one who was sinless, okay, solved my sin problem and my grave problem. You know, I tell people, I went to the doctor the other day. And they said, well, what's wrong, guy? I said, oh, nothing's wrong. I watch a lot of crime shows, okay, drama shows. And every time there's a crime committed, the detective walks up and says, have we got any DNA results? You know? So I love it when they show it on TV, they show it as a pretty kind of ribbon, you know, curvy ribbon, and it's in color, you know, real pretty color. So I went in there and told the doctor, I said, look, I want you to draw blood, I want you to give me the DNA test. And he told me when you get it back, and then show it to me. So back the doctor said, I'm going to be $1,250. I said, good news. You're right with this DNA test, ain't you? He said, oh, yeah, it's expensive. He said, but you'll be one later. So I go, I leave, they draw blood, I leave. He said, oh, I'll call you in 3 weeks. So he called me. The doctor said, well, here it is. See this little brown color there on the left? I said, yeah. He said, that's your DNA. I said, yeah, now it's kind of plain, so brown's good color green. And see, that we're pretty kind of blue on the right. Yeah. He said, that'd be your mom's DNA. I said, that's his mom, and I think that's her favorite color, sky blue. You know? And I said, well, what's that kind of weird looking color at the bottom of it? He said, that's your DNA. You know? And I said, well, hey, whatever. I said, is that it? He said, that's it. I said, well, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news for you. He said, well, give me the bad news. I said, well, you know that $1,250 you charge for this test, you're not going to get it. And he said, well, what's the good news? And I said, well, the good news is, I said, everything was okay when Robertson was born, okay? I was a beautiful baby, you know, everybody loved me, you know, and then it got on there, I got 6 years old, no problem, 8 years old, no problem, 14, 15, I got problems. I'm walking along one day, and I look down and I see something that I like, but it don't belong to me, it belongs to my neighbor, but I take it anyway. You know, I'm called skating, okay? I broke one guy's law. All right? Knocked on the door. You know, Mama told me to do something. I didn't feel like doing it, so I didn't pay his mom. Just say it, okay? That's not honoring your father. And look, nothing again. All right? The doctor said, hey, what are you trying to get at? I said, well, then I run on Jesus, Son of God. And I heard a story about who he was and what he did for me, okay? And I said, I repented, okay, from my sin. I changed my direction, okay? I was baptized into him, okay? Reenacted his death, his burial, and his resurrection, okay? By water baptism. I went under the water, okay, and buried the old man of sin. Okay, I come up out of the water, okay, a new creation, okay, just like when Jesus was hung on the cross, he died there, they took him down, they put him in a tomb. 3 days later, he rose from the dead, okay, proving who he was. So I told the doctor, I said, hey, look, I was baptized into Jesus, and I said, hey, here's the part you don't want to miss. And I received the gift of the Holy Spirit. And I said, Doc, that's the reason I ain't going to thank you, because I've got God's DNA in me, and y'all didn't show it to me. Okay? Because you know you make money. Okay? So the bottom line is, look, I don't know what people do that don't have God in their life. What happens when you lose a family member? Who do you turn to? You know, what happens if you go to the doctor and they say, hey, you're terminally ill with cancer? Who do you turn to? You know, I couldn't do without him in my life. That's the only thing I know. I've got to have him, okay? Not because, you know, it's because I want to, and it's because I need him in my life. Okay? Because I can't get along without him. Because I'm too weak. Okay? But he tells me, hey, if I believe in him and lean on him, I'm never going to go wrong if I go with the Son of God. Okay? You can take that to the bank, okay, and it's guaranteed. Okay? You never go wrong with the Son of God, Jesus Christ.
I tell you guys that what you see on the show, I'm wondering about whether we're the real deal or not. The scientist tells you what we're all about. We believe God's raised us up for such a time as this. We do appreciate all of you watching the show, buying the books, reading the stories, and telling other people about it, what matters the most. We'll tell you this, I've got the Psychology 1 coming out in 2 weeks, which is Si's life story told through his tall tales. Can you think of something better than that? How fun is that going to be? Bring it to you. Hope you guys come to work. It's been a real pleasure to be here tonight. We appreciate the folks here having us. I know they work very hard to make that happen. So thank you for all you guys. I appreciate y'all.
Give them a big round of applause. I'm going to make it one of them, but way more important than that, God the Father loves you, God the Son loves you, and God the Holy Spirit loves you from your life. Enjoy being here. Thanks for coming.